Okay, welcome to class. Welcome again. Today we are going to talk about switch statement and type case handling in TypeScript. Okay, um, type TypeScript. Okay, so this is the so remember if you could recall in our previous class, our previous video, we talked about conditional statement, about the if and else statement. Today we focus more on the switch statement. All right. First of all, we have our TypeScript file ready. We have our HTML file ready. So we need to compile our TypeScript to HTML. So how do we do that? So sorry, I have this on my console. Let me clear it. How do we do that? We do that by tsc, then the name of the file dot ts. All right. So script.ts. So I can because the TypeScript cannot be interpreted, so I can be compiled back to JavaScript. So come here, script.ts script.ts. So you see, our JavaScript file has been created. This one can be interpreted. So let's link it up here. Okay, okay, I already linked that. So it's linked script.js, script.js. So because the browser only understands JavaScript, doesn't understand TypeScript. So we have to convert our TypeScript to JavaScript. So these are JavaScript here. Empty. So let's go ahead. Today, so I focused on switch statement. So let me just write like the syntax was switch statement. You have switch. Switch. You have expression here. The expression, whatever is the user input, then we have this here. So we have case case value. That's a case value. All right. Case value one. Then we come in. So the switch and case is an alternate for the if and else statement, or is an alternate for if and else statement. So here in the switch case, the user input is passed through multiple cases, all right? And any of those cases that match the user input will be returned as an output, all right? So we'll come here, we say console.log. Okay, so let me just say code block to run. So we have our break here. So this break does something. I'm going to talk about that subsequently as we continue. So case value 2. So here you have the second case here. So we have code block to run if the user input matches such a case to run. Then we have the break here. All right. So finally, let me see. Let me add a third case here. I'll say case value 3. So let's say code block to run under the case and the break here. So now we have what we call the default. The default. So if the default works like the same as the else in if and else statement, so the default is what to be contains what the user is going to receive, like the output, if none of like the user input does not match any case at all. So let's say the user input does not match any case, then what the code block inside of the default will now be returned. So come here, code block to run, code block to run if no case match. So it doesn't match any case. We have a code block to run here. Perfect. So good. So this is syntax available. So let's go deep. Let's go into so let's say first of all let's begin with let's say we want to check for day, right? So we want to check for the day. So let's say a particular number. If we enter a particular number, is going to return what the name of the day, that number is like we have Monday. Okay, we'll say Sunday is one, Monday is two, just to return. Okay, let's say enter a number one. It means that I'm talking about Tuesday. Okay, so let's go ahead. So come here, we'll say, okay, just how we can just particular like this. So we say let user input. Huh? User input. Let user input equals to so here we are checking days of the week. So based on the number the user enter between 1 and 7, it will return the particular day of the week. All right. So we'll come and say we have let's say begin with 1 here as default. So let's type this so that it will only receive 1. So we'll come and type. We say okay, this will only receive a number. Let's take note. Only receive a number. So if you come and put something else, let me say I put a boolean here true. So I have an error. All right. So instead, okay, type of boolean cannot be attached to a number. It's not assignable to a number. So we'll come here, undo. So we'll come here. So let's say okay, switch case. So our expression, we say switch. So our expression is the user input. So that's the expression. So we have the body of our case here, our switch here. So first case value will be Sunday. I think Sunday is the first day of the week. We say case one. We say case one. Say case one. Right? So case one. So if the number the user enter is one, then console the log. Say Monday. Say Monday. So we now have. All right. I want to. I don't. You know we're supposed to add a break after this, but I don't want to put a break because I want to show you what happens when you don't include the break inside of the syntax. All right. So next, we say case two. Case two. So you have and this we say console log Tuesday. Yes. Oh, this is Monday actually. The first day of the week is Sunday. So I'll change this to Sunday, not Monday. So next, I think I work with 3D, then I'll now add the default. So it's okay, case 3. We come here, console the log Tuesday. Perfect. So we now have our default here. In case no case was matched, our default case here. So this default will only be outputted if no case console the log invalid. Let's say you put a number that's not either 1, 2, or 3. So it's invalid input. Perfect. All right, so we'll have this on. So this is a typical example of switch and case statement. So here you have a series, the user input is passed through series of cases, and whatever that input matches, the output or whatever the code belonging to that case, whatever that case the input matches, the code block will be run to the user. All right, but now you notice that I didn't add the break here. I did not add the break because I want to show you something. So let's go ahead. Let's run this and see. So we already have one here. So let's run this and see. So how do we do that to compile? To compile. Let's run this on. So we have our browser here. Let's run this on the browser. So go to our console here to see. And you notice it ran Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, invalid input. All right. This is what we call a fall through. And that's exactly what the break is stopping. All right. Without the break after each case, as soon as user input enter and the switch case begin to run, it will run through all the outputs. It's called a fall through. All right. The break makes sure that it's only it will only output cases that matches the input. All right. When the break is not there, every single output will be run or will be executed. So let's go and add the break here. We'll say break. Don't forget. So after we have the break here also, then here we now have the break here. Good. So now either I put it one, so we're expecting it to just return. So first of all, let's run this again. TSC dash watch. Okay, so let's run TSC script. Pardon. So we'll run this again. So if you want to execute, reload this now. Discover that it's just going to return is loading. Return Sunday, which is the first day of the week, which is what user input. So let's check, put this to be 3. We compile again. All right, so come in, run this. See, we have Tuesday. All right. So that's what happens when the break is part of the center. So it will always run only what concerns it. All right. Only the case that it has matched successfully. So default case. So the default case don't for the run when no case matches. So let's try to see what we have in default case here. So we have a default case here. Invalid to be 2. So let me say, we just have input 1, 2, and 3 here in the case. Let's say we put input 5 here. It's not part of what we created here. As such, it will the default case will now be activated. All right, we come here and say, so it's rolling invalid input. Did you see that? Invalid input. Invalid input. Good. All right, so let's look at type case handling in TypeScript. So TypeScript allows you type case handling in TypeScript. Let's go and look at that. Type case handling in TypeScript. So TypeScript allows you to control what value are allowed using types. All right, you can control what value are allowed. Let's do a simple example. We say, okay, let row. So here we're using the union type. All right, the union type is where you can assign multiple data type to a single variable. All right, using the union. The union is represented by a stroke. So you're going to do that. We say let row equal to, let me say admin. So admin. So we have multiple type here. Admin, user, user. Then we have the guest. So we have multiple types here. So we'll come here. So let's assign this to a string. A string. Check and stop throwing the error there. Oh, so sorry. Perfect. So sorry. So we are creating a particular type. We say, okay, row will contain this type. Admin is string, or user is string, or guest is string. All right. So here, so this are the created type we are creating for this particular. So we say, okay, row can either be admin, user, or guest. All right. So the input can either be admin, user, or guest. So you can receive either admin, user. So you have multiple possibilities here. So let's go ahead and say, okay, So let's say user let role be equal to, let's put something here. Let role be equals to admin. Let role be equals to, so admin. So we didn't need to create this let here. So role is also, so here we are giving role a value, assign role a value of admin. So we'll come and say, okay, switch case, switch to what's receiving role. All right, so we have this here. So say, okay, case admin, case admin. So here we have console the log. So let's say this, we are creating a website where we have different users, admin, users, and guests. All right, so we come in. Each of them have their, well, let's say, what they can be able to do in that particular purpose. So we come in. So now, how do we ascertain when they are logged in? So this is like we are giving a simulation of such kind of system. So we come in, consider the log. So admin should have full access. All right. So if the person that is logged in coming in as an admin, he should have full access. So next is case. Don't forget our break. So next is case user. Don't forget the string. So we come and say case user. We're trying to check where this error is coming from. Let's go ahead. Okay. Console the log limited access. So user will have limited access. You have now we have break. Then we have case guest. You say console.log. So view only. I'm going to sort out where the error is coming from. So I'll see. Okay, I'm trying to fix the error. Let's say prompt. So I want to check where the error is coming from. Type user is not comparable to style. It is now. We have a union here. Okay, so let's just have one here. All right, so this is it now. So say default. So let's see what will happen if that's not an admin. Console the log say you are not an admin. All right, good. So can run this here now. So let's put this to be guest and see. Guest, we're already having an error, so it only accept admin. So role admin. Let's run this here. So use an admin, we have an output here which is so it's still running full access which an admin. So you can actually assign multiple types to a particular variable. So thank you very much. See some other time.